All right. How's it going, everyone? This is Jose Trujillo on another one of our live sessions. Let me get some paper. Write some notes down. Today's Monday, so I hope everyone's doing great. And today is going to be a live artwork session. Ask the artist. Okay. So Monday at noon, don't forget, guys, ask the artist. So, how's it going, Marcia? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. And we're going to be touching on some points of what it is to be an artist, and a little bit different than what I usually do on Thursdays. Not too far off, but a bit different, because this is geared more towards you guys. You guys get to ask the questions. You guys get to interact more, and I get to answer whatever I can. Whatever I can't, I promise I will find out. I'm ready. I got my Starbucks. And just to kind of get before some more people join in, I wanted to also thank you guys for joining on the other sessions. They've really been cool. I love doing them. How's it going, Shanaz? Thank you so much for joining us. You guys are being awesome for joining me on Walker. How's it going? Good to see you. For joining me on Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. You guys have been pretty cool, very, very cool. I use the word pretty, but it's very, very cool. So if you guys have any questions, you guys want to ask me. This is an ask all types of questions regarding being an artist and how much certain things you guys are working through that maybe you guys want to know about. This is a live Ask the Artist live session, okay? So yes, you guys have, and you guys are more than welcome to. Shana says, I'm cool as always. Missed some lives, but I'm still following you around. LOL in a good way. Thank you so much. So, as I was telling you guys, we as artists go through different things. You know, it's not just the work. I think mostly it's the mental attitude and the emotional aspect. I think that's not just for artists, but for a lot of us. And I think that sometimes prevents us from moving forward. Now, I do something similar on Thursdays, but in this one, I want to be able to answer questions as opposed to just talking, because if you guys allow me to, I will talk forever. I will talk your ears off. And I want to make it more interactive on this one as opposed to just me talking. On Thursdays, I do a live session also where I get to talk about the challenges of being an artist. But here I want to be able to get your guys' questions, your guys' insights, your guys' ideas. It might not just be questions, it might be ideas that you guys have and you guys want to try them out. Marcia asks, what brand of oils do you prefer? Or do you mix and match? I tend to mix and match, Marcia. That's a great question. Thank you so much. I tend to mix and match, but I hover over certain brands that I'm kind of used to. It's really mainly because I'm used to them. So here they go, okay? Graham, it's one of them. It's written Graham, but it's Graham. That's one of them. I like it because they're walnut oil based, and I like to use walnut oil. That's how I discovered them. Winsor and Newton, I like their Winton, their artist grade, and I like their student grade. I like both. It's kind of mix and match for those because you can find some really great paints in their artist grade, in their student grade. I'm sorry, and I like Georgian. Now I heard that Georgian's being discontinued, which I feel sad. I don't know about how true that is. But last time I was at a local art store, one of the employees told me that they were being bought out or discontinued, something like that. So I'm a little bit sad about that. I love Georgian. The reason why is because they're very fluid, and as you guys know, I like painting fluid. So that's one of the reasons I like Georgian, and you get more bang for your buck. They're cost effective, and they give you, I think, 225 milliliters. So yeah. Shanaz says, I listen to all your talks about getting work out there, but it's difficult if you have health and mobility issues. Very true. Very true. I absolutely agree with you, Shanaz. I think that becomes there another challenge, right? It becomes more difficult in not just in getting to work, but our day-to-day lives. And I definitely understand. I definitely do understand. Not personally, but from an outside perspective. What I recommend in those situations is to take them. Try to get more online presence then, if that can be possible. Also, Shanaz asks, have you ever used water mixable oils? I have to use them indoors. Water mixable oils, I've used them, but I didn't like them. I've used them. I know that you can mix them with oil and water. You can go back and forth with them. I bought a whole pallet of them because I wanted to use them indoors. I use oils indoors, but I moved to walnut because of that reason. I didn't really like them, but again, it's because I didn't practice enough with them. So I'm very used to using certain brands and certain oils. Every now and then I'll go and I'll mix match, but not with the water mixables. I didn't get to play with them enough to actually start enjoying them. I really think it comes down to that. It comes down to, if you force yourself to play with them for a good month, you're going to start seeing why is it that they made them, why people buy them. So no, but I have no experience with them really. Also, another thing is that. Okay. Here's another question from Shanaz. They don't have a lot of flow. They don't have a lot of flow to them. Can you suggest an odorless oil to use with them? The odorless oil that I like to use is walnut oil. It's a life changer for me. The brand Graham was the one who came up with it, and it's been a game changer for me. I used to use turpentine. I used to use all the brands and all the mix. I don't even remember what they are anymore. I used them for years, and it's been about 4 years since I started using walnut oil, and it just completely changed my life. It changed the workability, everything. It's just, it's so much different for me because I wanted to be able to have something safer around my studio and with the artwork. So, and it's odorless, the people that sell it say, of course, it's edible, but I've never tried eating it. So don't try eating it. Walker says, I've used alkaline oils and like them. They're really good, actually, yeah. They have more alkaline resin and less oil. Also, not much odor and dry faster. That's very true. Walnut oil also makes, I don't know if you know this, Walker, walnut oil makes, Graham, the brand Graham makes an alkaline walnut oil, which is if you like that texture, it creates a different texture. If you like that, go with that. I think it tends to dry faster too. I tried it. I didn't like it for what I do, but they're really good. I mean, if I had a different approach to painting, maybe I would consider it. But yeah, I mean, just about anything you use that works with you. I mean, if I were working plein air only, meaning open air outside, I wouldn't really mind what I would be using. But since I work a lot in the studio, I don't do as much plein air as I used to. I used to do a lot of plein air, and I don't really mind what I carried around. But in the studio and the way I work and how I sit my paintings to dry and the process that I do, is just it's done wonders for me. Walnut oil. By the way, I don't get paid to promote walnut oil. I wish I did. But yeah, so it's just, you know, it just depends on what you feel comfortable with. And I think the more you use it, the more you're going to understand the dynamic of it. I think all art materials have a certain learning curve, no? And once you go past that learning curve, you get to understand its dynamics and drying times and all that good stuff, all those good juices that every good product has, you know? Absolutely. So, guys, also I wanted to touch on materials. If you guys have any questions regarding also canvas boards, what do you guys use? What do you guys like to use? What's your favorite surface? Is it working for you? Is it not working? Because there's so many surfaces out there to be painting. I mean, it looks like it's limited, but it really isn't. There's so much, you know, there's so much stuff out there. And I also like to hear your opinions. What kind of stuff do you guys like using? Yeah, Walker says, didn't know that Graham was made with walnut oil. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I was introduced to it a few years ago, and by another artist friend, and he's like, you know, if you want to paint indoors, try this stuff. And I was like, oh, really? Because I've always painted, you know, my larger pieces were outside, but my smaller one, my medium size, were indoors. And I painted late at night. When I was younger, I used to paint, you know, at 2, 3 in the morning. I was a night owl. So that, you know, I went to school and then I worked during the day, during the evening, and then I painted, and then I slept for, I don't know, a few hours. So I wanted something that allowed me to paint inside, you know, inside the house. So yeah, that's how I found out about it. And Marcia also says, I bought some canvas boards that were so rough. How can I fix that? Maybe. Yes, absolutely, Marcia. That's a great question. That's a common thing with canvas boards. It really comes down to many times it comes down to brand. They create different roughness. I know that Fredericks makes some really smooth canvases. But the way to fix them is very simple. What you want to do, Marcia, is go to the store, okay? Go to the art store and get some canvas, some gesso, okay? And then go to a hardware store and get some sandpaper. Now the grit of the sandpaper, you want to get a 220, okay? Remember this, it's a 220. You want to get a 220, and then if you want it even softer, you want to get a 400. So a 220 grit sandpaper and a 400 grit sandpaper. Okay, so what you do is that you put a coat of the gesso, right, on the canvas, let it dry, and then go over it very lightly with the 220, just one coat, and then try that. If you still think it's too rough, put another coat of gesso and then do the 400, and you will see. And if you think it's way too rough, put another coat and then use regular paper, and it will feel like glass. I used to do high-end portraiture, and I mean high-end because I charged a pretty penny for it. And when you use paper at the end, just regular paper, it will feel like glass. But that's after you use 400 grit sandpaper, okay? You're welcome, Marcia. And Shana says, I use canvas boards for small paintings and canvas for large, but do you use a primer under the oil painting? I do use it. I especially use primer, and most of us call it gesso. I use primer for the large pieces because many times when I buy the canvas and roll, it comes with a very heavy texture, heavy tooth. Even if they primer it, it comes with a heavy tooth. So I like to primer it again so that it creates a smaller a thinner tooth. More smooth is what I'm trying to say. I've been using normal gesso, same for acrylic paintings, but some say for oils there is another primer, but I can't think of it. Yes, there is primer for oils. It's just kind of stretching it for me. I don't really like using oil primer. You can use acrylic primer. It's been proven over and over that we can use, and that's what I use. I like to use acrylic primer. Some artists out there like to use, especially the more purist artists, like to use the oil primer. I really have no intention for it because things already take so long to dry that I don't want to add another long drying step right before I start painting. So that's one of the reasons I don't like to use. Another reason is because you can't prime with acrylic. You just can't prime, guys. Okay, here's the thing. Here's a little tip. You cannot prime, and there's artists out there that do it, and there's different talk about it, but you can't prime with house paint. Do not prime with house paint if you're using oils. Or with house primer. Do not do that. It is a killer. It'll ruin your oils. So Shana says, that's cool because I can't afford anything else either. I agree. I mean, I agree with talking about myself also, Shana. When I was starting out and I was creating the artwork, I was looking for what is the least expensive way to get the ball rolling, right? And really the best way that I found was to go get canvases when they were in special at the art store or at Michael's. You know, when they have them in special, go get them in their discounts, and because you get to buy bulks. You know, if you're starting out and you're practicing, you get to buy bulks of them. So that's a good way of doing it without spending so much money. So, but yeah, for the rolled canvases, I like to prime them just because if you don't prime it, you use more paint. It really comes down to that. So it's either or, right? What's more expensive, primer or oil paint? Well, oil paint is more expensive, so you want a primer. The bigger the piece, the more I would primer it. So Walker asks, how do you keep your paints from drying out overnight? I don't really worry about that anymore, Walker, but I can see why other artists. I just paint so much that I don't let it, I don't let it fall down. Dry, right? But I know it used to happen to me, so this is one of the things. Okay, check it out. And I've seen your setup, Walker. So this is gonna work perfect for your setup. You have a glass, a tempered glass table as a palette. If you're putting paint, the oil paint, make sure not to spread it so much. Make sure that you keep it, you keep it in I don't know, diameters of 3 inches at most, right? 3-4 inches. So that at the end of the day, when you finish painting, what you can do is that you can get I used to do this. I threw mine away because I don't have no use for them anymore. But it's a glass bowl. They sell them at kitchen places where they sell, stuff for cooking and all of that. It's just a small glass bowl that you mix eggs in that or whatever, and just flip it and put it over the paint, and that will seal it because you're putting glass on glass because it's so smooth, right? The area is so smooth, and that I learned from another artist, which I thought was really ingenious, very cool. So that's what I used to use. I don't use that anymore, but you can prevent it from drying that way. There's all sorts of things for plein air artists. They put PVC pipe. I used to do that too. you basically put a strip, a plastic strip, and then you put your paints there, right? Let me try to. So you put a plastic strip, right, and then you put your paints right there. And then when you finish using it, all you do is get the plastic strip and put it in a PVC pipe, and then you seal it, right, with the ends of the PVC pipes. So that's for plein air painting. But if you're painting in the studio, those bowls will do wonders. I mean, your paint won't dry. unless you leave it there for days and days and days. Then it'll start creating a film, right? A film over the paint. So that's how I do it. I hope that helped, Walker. So yeah, guys, I mean, I think this is pretty cool. What do you guys think? Thumbs up. If you can't find glass bowls, don't sweat it. Get ceramic, anything that will contain it. Just don't get plastic. The reason why I wouldn't get plastic, and I don't know, I'm sure that it would work. It's just that you can't really. It's harder to clean. The glass bowl, the rim, when it starts getting dry, you can get a spatula and kind of clean so that it creates that smooth and seal it. So yeah. Another thing that I used to do also is put paint in plastic bowls and seal it, right? Because they have those sealers, or put that plastic, that shrink wrap plastic, and keep it there and just use it daily. Like mix a batch for the week and just use whatever I was going to use daily. I used to do that too. I don't do it anymore just because I paint much more than I used to. I am a painting machine. So yeah, guys, give it a thumbs up if you like it. Share it, please. If you find that there's information here, share it with other artists, or just share it on your page and share the love. Because we're gonna be covering different stuff. I mean, every week I'm gonna be coming to you here with different stuff and trying to answer as many questions as I can. So keep the questions coming, you guys. Little questions you guys got, from photographing your art to shipping it and all kinds of stuff. There's so much to learn and so much to share. Shanaz says, I tried one of your sailboat paintings, but I couldn't resist detailing it. LOL. I will post it. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right to detail it. There's nothing wrong with it. What you're doing is that you're bringing out you forward. So don't feel bad if in the middle of it you want to detail or you want to She says, do you plan what your paintings first or just go for it? I tend to plan them. I don't plan that much anymore. A lot of it is muscle memory. But I'll do little sketches, If you paint enough and you draw enough, you start realizing what things look like. There's a lot of memory involved. There's a lot of memory, and you start realizing what things look like. Of course, in the beginning, I used photographs. I used this. I used ideas. I used past paintings. Other paintings that I've done, and I looked at a painting that I'd done, like a cloud painting or whatever, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to put a cow there now. So I started using that. But now it's just so much muscle memory that I just don't plan that much. It's just, that's why some people ask me like, oh, I wish I could see the photograph that you're doing the painting from. And at first I didn't realize. I was like, oh man, like maybe I'm doing it more advanced. And I mean, I did over 800 videos like that, so I kind of feel bad now on YouTube because I think that there's a lot of people that do need to use more concrete reference material, right? So what I'm going to start doing is doing some sketches prior to the painting so you guys can see what it looks like, what the sketch looks like. Then I'm going to put the sketch aside. And then I'm gonna be painting next to it, so that way you guys can see how is it that I get it done, because it's got really to do more with muscle memory than everything else. But the paintings, when you do a painting, you follow along with one of my paintings on YouTube. It's really cool that you start doing your stuff in there because I mean it's unavoidable. You're gonna come up with your as I call it, your je ne sais quoi. So if part of your thing is to add detail, then do that, because you're gonna start learning how to add detail and keep moving. My whole thing, my whole philosophy on artwork is to keep moving. It's not necessarily paint fast and don't care. I know that it sounds that way many times, but it really has to do with create artwork and keep moving. You know, just keep the ball rolling. You know, don't stop, don't look back, don't, you know. But if that's your thing, if that's part of your process, cool, but keep moving. Because many times what we do is that we'll stop and we'll use that as part of our process, but then we won't move forward. How's it going, Marita? Absolutely, do try that, please, and you'll see you're gonna start seeing a difference. You may not see a difference right away, but you're gonna start seeing a difference in the more you do it. Hopefully, you'll get to see a difference right away. But many times, don't feel bad if you don't. Just keep doing it, and you're gonna find your groove. So, guys, if you guys are finding awesome info, like it. If you don't, sad face, don't. But anything, you know. Yes, no, it's cool. I love doing this stuff, this kind of stuff. I'm gonna be posting this on YouTube. Probably, I don't know. I don't think I posted the last one. I may start posting on YouTube, but it's better to do it live, you know, because that way I can answer the questions. If I'm on YouTube, I don't think I'm gonna be as quick or maybe get to all of them, you know, because as they start growing. So, guys, again, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. We are about 6 minutes before we end this one, so I can catch another question or two if you guys have any regarding, again, as we covered paint, we covered canvas, gesso, some of that. As I was mentioning to you guys, the bigger the painting, the more you probably want a gesso. That's a safe bet, because what is more expensive, right? The paint or gesso? Well, oil paint is more expensive, or acrylic paint, whatever, is more expensive than gesso. Gesso, you can buy it, you know, for a gallon for, I don't know, $40 or $30, something like that, a whole gallon. And but it's better to primer that way. What I'm trying to say is that you use more paint. If the less primer, the more paint you will use. That's a given. So, how's it going, Patricia? Good to see you here. We do a live session every Monday here, and it's called Ask the Artist. So you guys get to ask your questions, and I get to do my best at answering them. And of course, you guys get to participate at answering them as well. If you guys have some cool insights. So Walker says, since finding your videos, etc., I've painted more in the last few months than last several years. My friends are amazed. I'm so glad. I'm happy about that, Walker. It really has to do with going beyond the mental idea of, you know, people used to tell me, you want to paint a painting in half an hour, you're crazy. But then I would see my friends doing a whole painting in a week, but they were just around the painting for a week, you know. And I'm not saying there's something bad with that, but what I'm saying is, here's what I'm trying to say. They were in front of the painting for about a week. They would be ready, do a little brush work and a brush stroke, and then go back. And if you really timed it, they only really spent like an hour, 2 hours at most. If you really timed it, you know, if you compress the time. So what I really do, my approach is, look, it used to take me 5 hours, 6 hours to make a small painting. What about if I focus all of my energy into it? Really focus my energy and compress that. And really, for me, it was a life-changing experiment. It really, I call it a Picasso approach. De Kooning used to do that. This modern masters used to do that. They used to get something and compress it. And that's really, I'm amazed. I'm amazed too, Walker, that you're creating, you know, your work. That you've created more in the past months than several years, because it really shows that focusing at the artwork is you know, it overpowers everything else, in my opinion. How's it going, Patricia? Patricia says hello. Welcome to the live session. We get to share ideas and ask questions to the artist. There's more than one artist here. Of course, it looks like I'm the only one because I'm talking. I'm doing all the talking. But there's other artists here who also have good insights and questions. And I like to try to answer whatever I can. Whatever I can't, of course, I'll look for it and I'll give you the best answer possible. I'll come back and share the answer. But for stuff that I can, for stuff that I know, experiences, I'm just going to answer it really right away. I've been painting for over 20 years, so I have some awesome experiences with different media and different approach, different ways of creating artwork, indoor, outdoor, plein air, miniature artwork, large pieces. I used to do murals. I started creating artwork. Also frescos, fresco, not fresco seco, with egg yolk and tempera. And so that's kind of where I evolved, playing with that and going into larger paintings. And then I went really little. Now I do a lot of smaller works, but I go back and forth. Marita asked, did I go to art school? No, I did not go to art school. I did everything just kind of on a whim. I just started creating artwork and I started learning, shadowing some artists, looking at what they were doing and kind of, learning from that. Kim asks, what do you use to glue linen on a board? I have a roll of linen. I haven't used it yet, and this would help. People use different things to. That's a great question. People use different things to glue the linen on the board. One of them is that they use clear coat, the big box of clear coat. Some people call it decoupage because it dries clear, but get the artist clear coat. That's one of them. Another one of it is also using a. What do you call it? Gesso. Just gesso in itself. It won't grab as much, as hard, but it is also it will create a good bond as well. Because what it does is that it'll get all the air out as well. Anything that bonds hard it gets the air out. Do you take notes? Patricia says, or pure experiential? Experiential. I take notes and I do experiential. I do both approaches. Thank you so much, Marita. Marita says, wow, good for you. You teach more than some college professors. Very good, necessary info. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Although I am not a teacher, you guys, I just, I'm sharing my experiences. I don't know everything, but I will share with you guys whatever I know. And as I mentioned, I painted over 20 years, so I got some cool stuff under my sleeves. But I hope that helped with the linen on board. I don't do that anymore. I used to do it. I don't. It's just not my thing anymore. Some people use glues, different types of glues. I use a lot of acrylic. That impasto acrylic to glue stuff, to glue art stuff, collages, and to create different textures with acrylics. But I'm kind of out of that mode of doing things from scratch. I don't really do that anymore. If I want a linen canvas, I'll buy a linen canvas or a linen board. I don't really go from scratch. Some of the stuff that I do from scratch is this. This is the only stuff that I do from scratch, you guys. This is masonite board. The only reason I do that, and as you can see here, I just kind of I do a quick coat of gesso here. The only reason I do that is because I get to dictate sizes. I like to play with different dimensions and sizes with and this is a great way of doing it, as opposed to looking for what is in store. If you go to the museums out there or big art galleries, you'll see that a lot of professional working artists have very rare sizes. I think that's one of the reasons why we practice a lot with different sizes, and so it's the only thing that I really do from scratch. But I don't go from for a more purist approach. Really, I kind of stopped doing that a while ago. Marita says, wow, oh, I think I read this one again. I liked it so much I wanted to read it again, Marita. So there you guys go. This session is ending. If you guys liked it, please share the video. If you guys find any value, give it a thumbs up, a like. We will be doing a session every Monday. Ask the Artist. Now, some of you guys are artists. Most of you guys probably are artists too. And if you guys have the answer, please share with the other artists asking the questions. If I don't have the answer, or if I don't have an answer that that suits best, and you have more experience with that, please share it. Also, on Mondays is Ask the Artist. Okay, guys, I'm gonna be giving you guys the notes of what we're gonna be doing. Mondays, Ask the Artist at noon. Everything is at noon Mountain Time, Arizona. Okay, it's on Arizona time here. And Tuesdays, it's art marketing. So we're going to be talking about art marketing, everything to do with getting your name out, getting exhibits. How do you sell your work when you're starting out? All that kind of stuff. Wednesdays, it's going to be a live artwork session. You guys will see me creating some artwork live. It's just sharing my approach with palette knife, brush, small paintings, larger paintings, canvas board, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of juicy there because you get to see me paint live, and just sharing my approach. Maybe there's stuff there that you might like, stuff that you don't like, and you take what you like and leave out what you don't. And on Thursdays, everything about being an artist. Everything is at noon, okay, guys? So on Thursdays, we will be talking about the emotional and the mental hurdles, the challenges that we have to overcome in order to show up to the studio daily, to go get that art exhibit and not be shy. Go talk go get some press. If you haven't gotten any press, get someone to talk great about your work, someone who loves your work. And how do you get them to write an article for you? How do you get them to talk about you? And how do you start doing some YouTube videos? Maybe that that's your cup of tea, and you're afraid and you don't know how to approach it. I'll talk to you guys about it. I have over 800 YouTube videos, and I haven't done it for years. I barely started. Well, not barely, but I started I think about a year ago or so, and it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Whatever I do very intense. So you guys will see over 800 videos there of me blabbering, just talking about artwork and painting and drawing and all kinds of stuff. So that's on Thursdays, okay, guys? Thursdays is everything about being the emotional and the mental aspect of being an artist, and how do we overcome that, and how we become better artists. Because I think we all have goals, and to get to those goals, we may be confronting challenges. And if some of us have overcome those challenges already, I think it's worth sharing. So I'll leave you guys with that. I went 5 minutes over this time. We're going to try to make it 4 minutes next time over. See you guys tomorrow at noon for an art session. Take care. Tomorrow is art marketing, okay? Don't forget it. Get your questions ready also, if you guys have any questions on art marketing. And please share the video if you guys found some value here. Take care, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. If I can stop it. Stop. No, doesn't want. Thank you, Walker.